What if the Morrigan's secret isn't war at all, but sovereignty? If she's not simply a war goddess, what power does she truly hold? Here's the claim we'll test and then prove. The Morrigan is the contract of the land. She selects and unselects kings, and her omens are the audit, not an appetite for battle. We'll keep this rigorous. First, we frame identity. The Morrigan is often linked in a triad with Badb, Bav, and Macha. Rather than three aliases, think three intersecting roles around power, prophecy, and the fate of battles. Second, we set the threshold, the washer at the ford, not as a horror set piece, but as omen at a boundary where choices crystallize. Third, we name the sources we will weigh. Narratives like the Táin Bó Cúailnge, mytho-history like Lebor Gabála Érenn, and annalistic notes, and we will mark the limits of each. This episode promises a secret and pays it off. Sovereignty is the hidden symmetry behind the Morrigan's appearances. The battlefield is where contracts are tested. The river ford is where oaths meet consequence. The corvid is a witness, not a mascot of fear. By the end, the clichés fall away, and the structure holds. She is the land's conditional yes, and the no that follows when rulers fail. Let's define functions, not caricatures. The Morrigan sphere is sovereignty and the fate of conflict. Badb often carries sharp prophecy, visions, frenzy of battle omens. Macha binds time and land, speed, fertility, kingship tested by limits. This is overlap, not duplication. Triads in insular Celtic material frequently signal complexity through complement, rather than simple, three phases. The washer at the ford matters because fords are ethical geometry. A river ford is an in-between where movement is compressed and visibility sharpened. To meet a washer, there is to meet an omen. You stand where roads narrow, water speaks of crossing, and choices do. Read soberly, the scene is not gore. It's a rite of recognition. Are you aligned with land and law? Have your vows kept pace with your ambition? A word on later folklore. The banshee image, powerfully evocative in its own tradition, is a subsequent development and not identical with the earlier triadic complex. Treated as an echo through time rather than an original blueprint. Our concern here is the earlier functions mapped by narrative cycles and ritual logic, omens at thresholds, sovereignty under scrutiny, and the land as an active stakeholder. A stone from a ford, mundane, but precise, reminds us that thresholds are places, not abstractions. The Morrigan appears where decisions bear weight. Sovereignty in early Irish contexts is a ritual contract. The ruler's legitimacy flows from right relation to land, law, and community. Inauguration sites, mounds, stones, rivers, are not backdrops but instruments. The Morrigan's presence tests that alignment. She can grant favor, she can withdraw it. Sovereignty is not a title, it is a current that can be interrupted. Symbolic ecology clarifies the setting. River/ford thresholds. Choices compress at crossings. Corvids, crows, ravens, serve as battlefield prophecy. They gather where outcomes turn. Their intelligence and diet make them truthful witnesses of aftermath. In story, that becomes omen, not a fetish of fear. Omens don't cause fate. They mark it, signs that the contract is holding or fraying. Sources. The Táin Bó Cúailnge preserves crucial confrontations in which the Morrigan challenges heroes and rulers, binding destiny to ethics. Lebor Gabála Érenn organizes myth history and cycles of rulership, with all the telescoping that entails. The annals, terse year-by-year entries, pin omens and outcomes to specific moments. We read them together, and with caution. Layers differ, agendas vary, and later redactions complicate claims. Still, across the corpus, a durable function shines. Sovereignty tested, prophecy rendered, rulers measured. Let symbols stay ecological. The ford is a real crossing. The corvid is a real watcher. The omen is a real question. Are you fit to proceed? Romantic and Victorian reinventions recast the Morrigan as a monolithic blood goddess, flattening function into spectacle. That misses the center. Earlier materials, present precision. She is a boundary voice that enforces contracts. War isn't her appetite. It's the human arena where vows are tested. If modern takes strip out sovereignty, they keep the noise and lose the music. What survives conceptually? Prophecy as enforcement of balance. To foretell is to reveal the state of the contract. Omen at the ford is boundary ethics. The crossing is earned by alignment, not seized by swagger. Triad is roles, not simple aliases. Prophecy, Badb. Land/time, Macha. Sovereignty/contract, the Morrigan. 3 angles, 1 architecture. If you value source-based myth, explore our books and the 2d6 Belief Engine RPG, links in the description, and join our Substack for deeper reading. Continuity matters. Even as later retellings drift, the underlying geometry returns in story after story. Crossings, omens, rulers measured by adherence to law and place. Read this way. The Morrigan instructs more than she intimidates. Her terrible aspect is accountability itself. Here is the promised reveal, delivered cleanly. The Morrigan's secret is sovereignty. She is the contract of the land. She selects and unselects kings. Her omens are audits, not appetites. The washer at the ford is the boundary clerk, not do magic, a sign that those already bound by their deeds are about to read the consequence. The triad encodes complementary roles, prophecy, land time, contract, misread as 3 faces when they are 3 functions. This reframing resolves the paradoxes. Why the battlefield? Because contracts are tested under stress. Why the corvids? Because witnesses gather where outcomes clarify. Why the ford? Because thresholds force truth. Who you are on one bank is who you must carry to the other, or be turned back. Why it matters now. An ethic of rulership tied to land, law, and omen resists both fatalism and spectacle. It returns agency and accountability to community. The Morrigan is not chaos, she is the measure. Next time, we turn to the Cailleach, from sovereignty and prophecy to the architecture of winter, how story builds season and teaches timing. I'm Krista, for Chronicus Blasphemous. Keep blasphemous, folks.